So today, in our beautiful country of Austria, we are visiting the ruins from the ancient Roman settlement of Carnuntum.
Carnuntum is located just over 40 kilometers from Vienna and is also relatively close to the Slovak capital of Bratislava. The Museum of Carnuntum today spans several locations near the Danube River, which is testament to the sheer size of what was once the ancient settlement back in its heyday. Carnuntum was the capital of the ancient Roman province of Pannonia Superior from around 103 AD until the province's collapse in 433 AD when the province was ceded to the Huns. However, the ancient city's records go back to 6 AD, during the reign of Emperor Augustus, when Tiberius, Augustus' stepson, who had yet to become emperor himself, turned it into a Roman fortress as a base of operations for campaigns against the Germanic Marabodus. Here, the military camp was erected in around 50 AD, and the settlements in the civilian part of the city began around 70 AD. At its peak, the ancient city was said to have had a population numbering around 50,000 inhabitants, which included legionary forces that surrounded it. Our journey first began by exploring the ruins of the old amphitheater, built in the civilian part of the ancient settlement in around 124 AD under the rule of Emperor Hadrian, just as Carnuntum had become a municipality within the Roman Empire. From there, a short drive to the village of Bad Deutsch-Altenburg will give visitors the opportunity to pay a visit to the archaeological exhibitions housed in the Museum Carnuntum. Here, one will find various archaeological artifacts on display, from old statues, fragments of ancient monuments, personal belongings of the Roman inhabitants, weapons and armor, etc. The museum provides a lot of important information about the old settlement within the context of the ancient world, more specifically the Roman Empire, and also how the people of the settlement had lived. Less than 2 kilometers from the museum, one can find the ruins of the heathen Tor, meaning Heathen's Gate.
The heathen Tor behind me was built as a quadriphon very similar to the Janus quadriphon of Rome. That means it was a building that consisted of 2 intersecting passageways.
And this is indicative of how this 4th century structure was originally built as a triumphal monument. The next and last stop on our journey was to visit the largest section of the museum in what used to be the civilian quarter of the ancient settlement.
As well as exhibiting the ruins of Carnuntum, the museum over here also exhibits a reconstruction of what this place would have been like back in the heyday of the Romans, as well as how life among the Romans would have persevered.
Since the end of the 19th century, archaeologists, historians, and scientists have carried out extensive research and excavations all over the sites of the ancient settlement of Carnuntum in order to discover and better understand this fascinating piece of Roman history. For this reason, much of the archaeological sites of the Roman city quarter have both the original ruins and reconstructions of the historical structures on display. This area of the site has the feel of a living history museum, giving visitors an idea of how the Roman inhabitants of the city lived their lives in the early first millennia. Structures include commercial buildings, public baths, inns, administrative offices, and homes of the people among the various economic classes. A place like Carnuntum makes you appreciate the lives of the ancients who once lived and roamed these sites in an epoch that is barely imaginable from our modern day lenses. To think these were people as human as we are today, with the same sorts of feelings and senses, but lived in a bygone era, is both remarkable and overwhelming. Learning about Carnuntum is ultimately an education about the people who made the city into what it was, their culture, their conventions and traditions, how they ate, how they socialized, their sense of fashion. The list goes on, but it's all one big anthropological experience that shouldn't be missed nor go unappreciated. The museum is also very family friendly. In fact, it even has a playground for children to play in, which was useful for a family such as ourselves with a small and energetic child. Carnuntum is one of the most fascinating and well-maintained archaeological sites and museums that we have ever visited in Central Europe, and we couldn't recommend this place enough if you happen to be on a trip to this part of Austria or one of the nearby countries, such as Slovakia, Hungary, or the Czech Republic. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and subscribe to our channel.